The question is, are Tupac and Biggie overrated?
Dramatic.
Joe, since you dropped the tag,
Gangsta Grizzles!
I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay, I'm split on this because I love Big, and I don't think Big's overrated at all. I think Pac's highly overrated.
Why?
Like, I do not care to listen to Tupac's music. Like, I do not care. Like, it has no replay value for me.
None?
None.
Like none of it?
Like, none. Like, I don't care to listen to Tupac songs. Like, I haven't probably voluntarily listened to a Tupac song since college. And I've been graduated for 4 years.
That's sad. Oh,
It's
man.
just, there's just too much. There's too much Tupac music.
And you don't think Big is overrated?
No, I don't think Big's overrated at all. We only got 3 albums from Big.
Yeah, I was gonna say Big was 3 records, 3 records.
Matt, your turn.
You know, I would say both of them are overrated compared to what you see people doing nowadays as far as construction value goes. But when it comes to their sound and what they did, they will never. They're not overrated in their time frame, and they are a seminal and important artist to remember in regards to the foundation of modern hip hop. I love Tupac. Like out of those two, Tupac is definitely my favorite. Biggie had better punchlines, and some witty rhymes, but Pac had a meaning. There was more fluidity in the records.
Tupac rhymed Tennessee with everything.
Hey,
No.
Tennessee, my enemies, like in every song.
No, you can't complain about any kind of rhyming when you scream "Free Gucci" at the end of every podcast.
True that.
And you know what? I've listened to more Gucci Mane music voluntarily than Tupac, so that has to say something.
No, because you listen to more Gucci than Biggie too, so that doesn't say anything.
No.
Yeah, you do. Don't lie to me. You listen to more Gucci than both of them.
At a point, I listen to more Biggie than anything. At a certain point in my life, I listen to more Biggie than anything.
Gotcha. Matt, did you have more to say?
Not that I can remember.
Gucci will throw things off. I can believe that.
I hate. Ugh.
Burr!
I really don't understand how you like that dude. The dude is garbage, trash.
Absolute trash, man.
Y'all just don't like turning up. Y'all just don't like turning up.
I don't find any value in a Gucci Mane record.
Gary, what's your opinion, man?
Yeah, I'm going to side with Joe on this one because, I much prefer to, throw on a Biggie joint. Because I recognize that Tupac's music, it has a lot of deep meaning, a lot of power to it. It's got a lot of messages in there. And, you gotta give him credit for all that because he did touch on a lot of bases in his music. But when it comes to just throwing on, an album, Ready to Die, man, for me, like that's an incredible piece of work right there. As for them being overrated, I just feel like it's because of their death, because they both died and, they was in this beef with each other and the media blew out proportion and everything that transpired. I feel like because of all that, they will always be, held as the two kind of kings of hip hop.
Right, the martyrs of hip hop.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, they seem overrated. But I don't feel like they were bad or anything. I don't feel like it's right to say they're overrated. It's just, the circumstances of their death. That's why it will always be like that. Unfortunately,
I'm sick of people. I'm sick of the conversation. Like, it's been going on since I was in, 5th grade. Who's better, Tupac, Biggie? Or then it was, are they overrated? And is it because of their death? And I'm just kind of they're both great. They're both great for different reasons. I like one a little bit more than the other because it's more personal to me. And that's it just goes on forever in regards to that, like this conversation's been happening for years and years and years.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
I'm
whenever
bored.
someone brings them up, it's always, oh, which one was better, instead of actually appreciating the music that they made, individually.
Right, we can't talk about why Tupac was great without eventually running into the part of the conversation where you figure out who thinks who is better, Tupac or Biggie. Like, the conversation in regards to those two artists almost always devolves down into that.
Like, you have to be a fan. You have to be a fan of one or the other. You can't
you
appreciate
can say
it.
both. Like, you can say you really like both, but like, I think at one point, and that was part of the media hype too, was you could only be a fan of one or the other. They were almost like teams.
It was the Team Edward, Team Jacob of hip hop.
Right. It was that
Man,
whole.
don't bring Twilight into this hip hop podcast.
I can't help it. I know too much pop culture stuff for work.
We'll save it for another podcast, man. We'll make one for you. But golly, I respect everything everyone has said, and I agree with you, Matt. It's a topic that does get run into the ground a little bit.
I don't think it's getting ran into the ground. I think it's getting tombstone pile drove into the ground.
Now I'm defensive because I'm the one that came up with this topic for the podcast. So
but did you really come up? But that's the thing. Did you really come up with it since we talked about it all the time?
No. But I did bring it up because I wanted people to hear the perspective of more rational people than what you would normally hear Biggie and Tupac thing, because like I brought it up at work just because like somebody was talking about Tupac, I think, and before I get into what was said, I am a fan of both of them.
Right.
Like, I think if Biggie were alive, he could either be doing what he was doing or he can be in battle rap destroying people. I don't think Tupac could be in battle rap.
No, Tupac definitely was not a battle rapper.
No, but I think Biggie could have done that. Tupac's influence and Biggie's influence are the things that are absolutely classic about them. They were fantastic, and just their effect on hip hop and what them existing has brought us is dope. Because I don't think Joe would have a Jay-Z if it weren't for Biggie. Stuff like that. Now on Tupac's,
a lot of new artists today,
yeah.
Tupac was just his flow. Tupac's flow and Tupac, both of their flow were both copied for like the next 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And nobody, I don't think anybody
can do it. Yeah, for either one. Like,
well, that's the thing. I don't think anybody can even touch, like, if they tried. Like, I don't think anybody has been able to touch Biggie's like storytelling.
I don't know.
Well, actually, I disagree. Yeah, I was gonna say there's actually some people that are pretty good storytellers, and I would say they're better storytellers.
Maybe Scarface. Scarface is a pretty good storyteller.
He's a good one too.
Slug is one of the best storytellers out there right now.
Immortal Technique.
Watsky does stories too. He does them pretty well. The guy I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, and I don't listen to a lot of Immortal Technique, Gary, but the stuff I have heard is good. But I'd probably say Slug is the best storyteller. Matter of fact, I've had that conversation with a friend of mine, and we came down to Slug being the best storyteller in hip hop.
Yeah, I agree. Slug is the best storyteller in hip hop.
What was I going to say? Oh, with a caveat, and basically, for one, Nas and Jay-Z has become the new Biggie Tupac thing. You don't hear the Biggie Tupac as much anymore.
Right.
It's
because
now
Nas and Jay, Nas and Jay circulates on Twitter every 30 days.
Yeah,
like somehow you can be talking about something and it will go to Jay-Z versus Nas.
Yeah, every single time, no matter what it is, you're gonna have to be on Team Nas or Jay-Z. Like, no matter what, it's ridiculous. Like, I like Nas more than Jay, but I like them both. But I get into arguments with Nas fans because I didn't pick just the Nas side on Twitter. Like, come on, like, people are stupid. But that's getting off topic a little bit. But with Tupac, what I told some of them, and you can agree with me or not, I don't think Tupac had classic albums.
Yeah.
He had classic songs for sure. Like, yeah. I like Biggie's album more, Ready to Die, but I like a lot of Tupac's songs a lot more than Biggie's stuff.
And that makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense to me because like when I was in college, like I tried to be unbiased and I would try to listen to both of them because I mean I always did this throwback segment on my Sunday night show, and I always tried to like not be as biased as some people. So, but I can agree with that because there are Pac songs that I do like. I just don't listen.
Yeah, gotcha. But yeah, when I said that, like as soon as I said the part about him not having classic albums, they lost it. And then I asked them to name one, and the silence was hysterical.
I'm surprised none of them said Machiavelli.
They eventually did. They eventually
Machiavelli.
did, and I was like, "You just saying that because you heard that. That's not actually." And when he said it, I was like, "Give me the track list, bro," and he couldn't. And I'm like, Machiavelli was good. It was not a classic album because like I judge it on its influence and the fact that I can listen to it from beginning to end.
Honestly, if I want to go listen to Tupac, I just grab his greatest hits. And
Exactly.
Great songs.
That's what you do. With Tupac, you listen to greatest hits, and with Biggie, you listen to Ready to Die.
For every great Tupac song, you kind of have to weed through some yo, I'm a gangsta, bravado, bleh. Hennessy, yeah. Yeah, you do have to sift through some of that. But there is some, there's some classic, just some verses that'll absolutely make you think. Like Tupac was probably one of the few first musical artists that actually got me to like think about world and social issues. And as far as obviously I was still thinking about those things, but he was the first artist musically that would make me sit back and think about problems and things that we have wrong in the world today and how we can change them. And I loved his message, and I don't know, it was just great.
Word. I agree. By the way, my dad gave his 2 cents, and he was like, Tupac was dope, but nobody flowed like Biggie, which is pretty much reflective of what we said already.